So in Terminal Revenge, the Ice Bear deck is getting new support. Yeah, I know you probably don't care about that, but you should if you're a Sprite player because it is indirect support and it definitely makes the deck much better. And you can finally summon Toad without having to go into weird combos with like the Bujinki link to it. Yeah, that was so garbage. Now the deck just feels so much cleaner, so much better. And you can play a lot of hand traps and a lot of consistency cards. So I think this is probably the best that the Sprite deck has been since we lost Sprite Elf. So I'll show you guys the 3 combos in this video as well as an updated deck profile. And of course, if you can get this video to 1,000 likes, I will be making a big ass spreadsheet with like all the combos through every single hand trap that you can imagine. So make sure you smash the like and subscribe button. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so first things first, if you only have Swap Frog and nothing else, you can still play the game because this is an additional 1-card combo that we can that we have access to at our disposal now. So we can send Mirror Magic of the Ice Bear, and that gets you your search for Freezing Chains of the Ice Bear, which is a monster reborn for an Ice Bear monster. So now you can just make a Sprite Sprint or Gigantic if you really respect Nibiru, but Nibiru is not typically really good against this deck because protect yourself from it by summoning Gigantic early. But if you are doing the Sprint combo first, then you're making a bigger board because you just generate more bodies. The issue is you play into Nib. But yeah, you can end on, that is 3 interruptions here. So a proactive bounce because we can special summon a monster on the opponent's turn, which triggers the effect of Sprite Sprint to bounce back a monster. And we also have Djinn Buster that can negate the monster effect of anything. Doesn't destroy though, it just negate the activation by detaching 2 materials, and also burns for 500, which can matter in time. And you also summon either Red or Carrot, which is a negate, and obviously you have the bounce. So 1 single card equals 3 interruptions. Not too bad, not too bad. And you kind of have a follow-up in the form of the monsters that you have on the field. So next turn, you just make a Gigantic and keep playing from there. Sprite Starter is also a 1-card combo, and this time you do beat Droll pretty consistently because you're searching on the draw phase. So Sprite Blue is going to be summoned, Surge the Sprite Jet, and then special summon that. And I want to say, if you get Drolled here, your combo is probably even better because you can go Mannequin Cat and then special summon your opponent's Droll and then summon Spell Canceller from your deck. So you almost want to get Drolled. It's literally a positive thing. But if you don't, I mean, you're just going to go into the Toad combo. So Gigantic after Sprint. If you, again, do not respect Nibiru, summon Swap Frog and then send Mirror Magic, search the Freezing Chains, and then revive that shit back. And then you're going to be making the Toad and link off into IP Masquerena. So that is, what, 4 interruptions, I believe? IP into SP. And then Toad, Negate, and Steal, and you've got the trap card that either gives you an additional Toad Negate, or you can steal an opponent's monster, and also use that to be used as a link material. So even if you can't summon Swap Frog with Toad, it's not too bad. But this combo can also do something different. So you can go Toad, summon Swap Frog, and then Foolish Testudo Arachnemen, the trap card to summon the Testudo Arachnemen. So it's not like I really have to showcase any combos on that because it's a little too simple. That's the thing about the Sprite deck. It's pretty linear for the most part. Again, I can't showcase this in my spreadsheet video just in case people are still confused. Or you can just ask questions in the comment section. But yeah, a lot of interruptions and it's very easy to achieve. It's really just a 1-card combo. Anyways, let's get into the third and final one. Alright, so let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that your opponent has a monster with 2700 attack and you have the ability to summon a Sprint. That's all you need. You can OTK your opponent, which is not too bad. So 1 single Sprint against 1 monster with 27, and there is a way to kill regardless of what else your opponent has on the board, as long as it's not like a bunch of interruptions, obviously, because then it's gonna cancel out the fact that you can go into Sprint and stuff. But yeah, Sprint, send the Angler, summon Double Beaver, go into Gigantic, and then detach, summon the blue, and the blue is going to be searching the Jet, and then summon that, and then search the starter, and then overlay for the Ninja Shadow Mosquito, and then battle phase, give a hallucination counter to that monster. 27 multiplied by 3 is going to be 81, so that is lethal damage if you have 3 other monsters. So that doesn't count Ninja Shadow Mosquito because the first attack has to give the hallucination counter, and then every attack after that is the one that is going to be burning your opponent for the attack of the monster that you're attacking. And then obviously your monsters die and you also take battle damage, but that's irrelevant because your opponent will die before you. And then, yeah, you just go for your third and final attack, and then attack, and again, that is going to be game. So 27, that could be like after nibbing a princess, for example, or whatever else. Like, you can just hand trap your opponent passes on princess and nothing else, and you can just attack for game, so that could work. Okay, so for the deck list, this is also gonna be super simple. I want to say, for the most part, the only thing that should always, like, differ in, like, the side deck that people will choose to play would be the targets for Mannequin Cat, which I will cover soon enough. So I want to say, like, the most complicated thing about this deck. But the hand traps, I mean, they can also vary depending on the format or the environment that you're in. But 3 Ash, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm, these are the 9 best hand traps to play. And then after that, it's between Nibiru, Mourner, and Droll. These are also pretty good. But I just wanted to go... I wanted to diversify by going 2 of each of them. I don't know if this is necessarily correct or incorrect, but You let me know if you want to go like 3 and 3 and then just disregard the other ones. But since they're all once per turns in a way, I might as well just play 2-2-2 just so I have more like different hand traps in my hand. Usually that's just a little better. Yeah, maybe if you really want to draw Nib or really want to draw Mourner or Droll, then you max that one at 3. And you can also cut Prosperity if you feel like the deck is already consistent enough. Yeah, speaking of which, I only wanted to play 2 Prosperity. At first I had 3 Prosperity with only 1 red, and I figured it just wasn't enough because otherwise I just don't really feel like I have enough Sprite monsters, because the deck doesn't really have too much recursion from the graveyard because there's no elf anymore. So I just wanted to really have the second Sprite red. But yeah, 2 Prosperity could also be 3. It's just that what are you banishing every single time? There are 6 cards. If you want to banish 6 cards, you can always go for Zeus and then maybe Downerd, the Purely Plum, because that just leads to a big Zeus. And then, I don't know, Omnimaru, Ninja Shadow Mosquito, Jin Buster, whatever, or like the second Gigantic. That can also work, or like the Dark. So I think that you can almost like resolve Prosperity twice. It's just that you can't go like 6 and 6. So maybe 6 and 3, that should be good enough. Anyways, for the actual starter, so we got 3 Swap Frog as well as 3 Nimble Beaver. So all these cards are 1-card combos on their own. For the Nimble Beaver, obviously, you're going to have to summon Angler and then go Sprint, send the second Angler. So that's the reason why there's 2 Anglers. Or if you want to go for like a very small Nimble package, you can do 2 Beavers and then 1 Angler. 1 Mirror Magic and then 1 Freezing Chains, obviously. That makes sense. By the way, Mirror Magic can actually recycle back one of your Ice Bearer cards that is banished or in your deck to your hand. So if you can find a way to like go SP banish this, and then you detach Mirror Magic that was underneath Toad, you can recycle back the Freezing Chains and then revive back the Mirror Magic again. And it could also be somewhat relevant if you get like Cosmic Cyclone on Freezing Chains. Something like that. So just keep that in mind, because it doesn't just search from the deck to the hand. That can be relevant at times, but it doesn't search from the graveyard to the hand, unfortunately. Anyways, triple blue and triple jet, that makes sense. And then double red, for the reason I mentioned, is just because it is the 3rd best Sprite monster to play. But alternatively, you could also just play 1 Pixie instead. I have it there you go. And then finally 1 Carrot, the Spell and Trap Negate, and 1 Double Cross. I think this is just a little better to play than Smashers. You know, Smashers can also be played going second. This card just has such a higher ceiling. And yeah, for the extra deck, I mean, I don't really have to go into it, but still, Typhon, Zeus, Downerd, Plump. This allows you to go into a 6 material Zeus, as I mentioned, because you can attach up to 2 spells and traps from either graveyard, so even your opponent's graveyard, and then place them underneath, and then you can go into a Downerd, and then attack, and then go into a Zeus. So that's exactly 6 materials if you can fully resolve everything. Ninja Shadow Mosquito for the OTK, obviously. Onimaru, the Soul Sweeper, whatever. Just a way to clear monsters that are annoying. Mannequin Cat, especially good post-game 1 when you know you're going first against a deck that you already know about. You might have to think about some good targets for Tenpai Dragon. But I think I have everything for, the other decks, so it should not be too... And it shouldn't be too bad. But it's also the hand traps that you have to respect. So obviously, if you get like Ashed, then Mannequin Cats can summon like any fire monster. So you can even summon Red and Carrot. And against the Snake Eye monsters, you can just summon just a bunch of Sprite monsters generically. And anything that is like Dark Attribute, it's always easy. You can go into Blue and Jet. But yeah, anyways, Jin Buster, negating hand traps and stuff. Toad, Double Gigantic, just your best friend at beating Nib, Dark, and then SP, Sprint, and IP. And then for the potential side deck options, so Testudo Aradnemen, very good card. It's an Aqua monster that you foolish with Swap Frog, and then once it's in the grave, you can revive back with Sprite Double Cross to a zone your Link monster points to. So that it was combo number 2 that I showcased. I just didn't foolish with Swap Frog because I do not recommend main decking Testudo Aradnemen. It is only a viable option when you know for a fact that you're going first. Otherwise, it's just going to be 1 extra brick in your deck. And you really want to play a 40 card deck list with like 15 hand traps in this deck. Gives you a very high likelihood to draw a hand trap. And your deck should be relatively consistent if you're maxing out on these ratios. So yeah, 3 Beaver, 3 Swap Frog, 3 Blue, 3 Jet, 3 Starter. Anyways, some other cards that you can either play in your deck, in your main deck even, or as Mannequin Cat target, so Kashtira Fenrir. And then End of Anubis, really, really good card. It's also very good against Hubel. They summon any Fiend or Dark, which is literally anything, and then you summon this, and it's a Dweller and Necro Valley. Thunder King Ryo for anything that just plays a bunch of lights. Spell Canceller for Droll, because it's wind. Archlord Christia, when you get Veilered, it's a light, so it's just a Vanity's Emptiness. And then some other cards that you can just play generically in your deck, so EMP Meow Mine, very good card. But I don't play Salamangreat Elmirage, so I don't know if it's really worth it. And then Nightmare Corruptor Ibli, which you can summon with Gigantic. If people are not prepared for this, you can just get some free wins with it. And it's also like Exodia against Despia, because they do not have a single out, if I recall correctly. They need very specifically Forbidden Droplet or Tribute Summon like a Bestial monster. That's really all I can really think of. Yeah, it's pretty rough. It's really, really rough. And then, yeah, Bestial Magnamut and some other Bestials if you want to. You can also summon this off of Mannequin Cat, so it's really nice. And then if you want to play the Melfi cards, you can, but I don't really recommend because it's like 2 cards in your main deck, and then it's also more bricks going second, and you're already playing like the Ice Bear card, so you shouldn't try to play like too many engines. I think if you just focus on this off of your sprite cards, it should be good enough. And the Bujin Kahashima, if you really want to play that card. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know how you feel about this deck in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.